Hi guys, got a email from somebody, from one of my subscribers, with a interesting scenario or find on his vehicle, on his son's vehicle. Um, Excuse me, I just got up and looks like I cut myself shaving here too, so getting old, I start to twitch. Anyways, backstory is the gentleman did the water pump and timing belt on his son's vehicle. That was 2 years ago. Put about 30,000 kilometers on the odometer. I'm not sure how many miles that is. I'll put that in the video. Long story short, after 2 years, 30,000 kilometers, vehicle started to have overheating issues, and so he was. Plus, there was some coolant leaks as well. So he spent some time looking things over. Ended up doing the thermostat, and that ended up solving the coolant leak. The coolant leak was coming out from around the thermostat flange, the gasket, the O-ring, but it didn't solve the overheating. So since he covered anything and everything that was involved, and thinking that the water pump is only 2 years old, that's the thing. You don't want to always ignore stuff simply because the part is relatively new. Long story short, he ended up caving and pulling the water pump out, and here's what he found. Let me get rid of myself here. That's the water pump right here that was installed. It was in a iVue kit, or a iVue water pump. I've used these before. They obviously don't look like this when they're brand new. This is a stock looking water pump with the plastic impeller. So this is what you usually see, and then I'm also going to overlay a bunch of other water pumps, the aftermarket, also iVue. They have like different styles, and or they just use different manufacturers' pumps or suppliers in their iVue kits. But anyways, always check for flow. If you don't have any flow, I'm sure that the gentleman who worked on his vehicle ended up checking that as well. And but the main thing is when you work on something, even I do this myself as well. There's a new part in there. It can't be the new part, but if things keep pointing towards the new part being bad, then odds are the new part is bad. But obviously in this case it took 2 years. I have no idea what would cause this pump to wear out like this. He said that the system was quite rusty, the coolant, and that obviously would explain it, that this impeller, it's a metal impeller, it just degraded over time, rusted out, fell apart, never to be seen again, or the remaining pieces. So, people always say put in a metal pump impeller over the plastic. For I don't know, maybe 5 years now already. I really don't care what I put in, be it the newer plastic pumps or the metal. This pump here, I'll show you in the overlay the two different styles of metal impellers and which one I prefer. This one is the one that I do not prefer, but I also haven't never seen one fall apart like this or decompose like this. These plastic ones, yes, they can come loose. Scanner Danner once had one of these pumps that actually came loose on the shaft. So the metal piece, it was all intact, but it was freewheeling or slipping. I have not seen those yet either. But, you know, long story short, you get an overheating issue. You know, watch one of my other videos. Takes less than a minute to figure out what the problem is. 3 minutes if the engine's cold and you're waiting for the thermostat to open, or waiting for thermostat verification. Thermostat obviously takes longer to open, but within the first 1 minute you should determine whether or not you have flow. If you have flow, move on to something else besides the water pump. Thermostat would be the next. But anyways, I don't want to make it seem like that his diagnosis took long or whatever, which it obviously didn't. He ended up finding the problem. That's the main reason, or that's the main point. The point of this video is water pumps, you know, and new parts. Sorry, that was the main point. New parts, relatively new parts, 2 years old. Anything within 5 years, I consider not too, you know, fairly new still. So if you have an overheating issue or any type of brake issue or whatever, and you determine, well, you know, it can't be the parts, they're relatively new, doesn't matter. Take the time, check it. Thanks for watching.